This is The Top, where I interview entrepreneurs who are number one or number two in their industry in terms of revenue or customer base. You'll learn how much revenue they're making, what their marketing funnel looks like, and how many customers they have.
I'm now at $20,000 per talk.
5 and 6 million.
He is hell-bent on global domination.
We just broke our 100,000 units sold mark.
And I'm your host, Nathan Latka.
Okay, Top Tribe, this week's winner of the $100 is Rhett Gillens. He is a restaurant industry. He's in the restaurant industry and he feels stuck. He wants to start his own software business. So congratulations, Rhett, for your guys' chance to win $100 every Monday morning. Simply subscribe to the podcast on iTunes now in order to enter, and then text the word Nathan to 33444 to prove that you subscribed.
Nathan Latka here. This is episode 586, and coming up tomorrow morning, you're going to learn from Martin. His company is called Review, which has raised $350,000, helping 1,000 customers send personal newsletters. Interesting new concept. You don't want to miss it.
Good morning, folks. Nathan Latka here. Our guest this morning is Charles Thiede. And if you haven't heard of Charles before, he is the co-founder and CEO of knowledge network platform called Zapnito. Zapnito helps organizations create privately branded expert communications and networks. He calls this experts as a service. So we're going to jump in. Charles, are you ready to take us to the top?
Sure.
All right.
Hi, everybody.
Good. So tell us first, good morning to you. Tell us first, what does Zapnito do and how do you generate revenue? What's your business model?
Okay, so we're a software as a service platform. And what we do is we help organizations create branded knowledge networks. And what does that mean? Essentially, we create digital spaces for top brands and trusted brands to pull experts and an audience into a room, if you will, to collaborate and exchange knowledge. So anything from JP Morgan to NASA, those are kind of some of the organizations that we work with. So the idea is that, knowledge is being kind of lost in the noise of the social web, things like Facebook with, fake news and 300,000 cat videos on YouTube. So what we want to do is create a platform that helps brands bring their audience back to the trusted sources of knowledge.
So what is give me an example. I mean, is this like a Slack? I mean, how is it different than a Slack channel?
It's a good question. So Slack is built around the Slack brand. It's a great internal tool. So this is really about delivering new products and new services through trusted brands, whereas Slack is the Slack brand. So we are very much a white label platform behind the scenes, pulling these experts and the audience together with us as the tool, but we aren't kind of front and center, delivering that, if that makes sense. So it's very much a behind the scenes white label capability.
So what is so it looks like JP Morgan's using you guys, right?
Yeah.
So what do I'm on Zapnito.com right now. I see discover channels, rooms, training, meet the team, etc. This is your channel, the Zapnito channel. Is this the same thing that JP Morgan would have except branded as JP Morgan?
Yeah, that's exactly right, Nathan.
Got it. Okay. So you and they have a custom link or something for that.
Yeah, they have their own domain. Definitely.
I see.
So they've created a thought leadership network using Zapnito called the UK Edge, which is all about the UK economy to drive leads and thought leadership in the fund industry. So it's all about kind of getting thought leadership out there. So it's really a content marketing kind of channel for them.
I see. Yeah, it follows the exact same format as Zapnito when you go to the uk-edge.censure.jpmorgan.com, and then they've got Discover channels, rooms, QA, people. Very interesting. Okay, this makes sense now. Good. So how do you make money? You said it's a SaaS platform, right?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So we make money through subscription. Yeah. So it's a enterprise level software as a service subscription. So typically our deals are 3-year deals. So we help organizations create products. So that's essentially how we're set up.
And what is so we can avoid kind of going into specific customers. Let's just take an average. What's the average customer paying you per year?
Average is about £60,000
Okay,
per year.
Call it, what is that? 65,000 USD, something like that.
It's about $80,000 maybe.
Yep.
Today. Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the day these days, right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, good. So $70K per year, but you said they pay 3 years up front, right?
No, they typically pay 1 year up front,
Okay.
depending. So some of our licenses are quarterly, but yeah, typically it's a 3-year deal, but with annual upfront payment. We have 2 products, Nathan. So one is the Knowledge Network platform, which is what you see, what JP Morgan are using, and we're developing something new, which is Knowledge Feeds, which is actually a lot more like what Slack does.
Yep.
But it's very much a white label capability.
So let's go back to the start of this thing. So when did you launch the company?
We started trading being we started selling stuff March 2014, but we actually started out as a marketplace of experts with our brand. So we did the kind of cliche pivot. So we went from us being the brand to actually doing a big transition to becoming a white label SaaS version of what we had. So that marketplace was launched as a beta in March 2013. So we really
2013 or 2014?
2013. 2013. But then when we pivoted, we actually started selling in March 2014. So we've had kind of 2 different machinations of Zapnito.
You said we. How many co-founders do you have?
Just me and one other, John Beer, who's my CTO.
Got it. And what was your first year revenue? You remember back in 2013?
Let's see. I think it was about, try to use past currency maybe, but it was about, I want to say $80,000.
Not horrible, right? Enough to cover ramen noodles, pizza, and a little bit of family expenses, right?
There you go. Yeah.
All right. So good. And then let's fast forward. So 2013 to 2014, then 2014, you pivoted, you started selling your new product, did 80,000, your first year. So fast forward us to where you are now. How many customers are you working with today?
So today, I think there's about 15 customers. So at that value.
What do you mean you think there's about? Don't you obsess over each one of these guys every morning when you wake up?
Yeah, it depends on how you consider customers. But yeah, paying customers is 12 customers. And then we have a couple joint ventures that we work with as well.
I see, which maybe there's more bartering there versus money up front.
Yeah, revenue share stuff.
Yeah. And then can I do the math? Can I take 12 customers, times an average of, what is it? You said 70-ish US dollars, 70,000-ish US dollars per year, divided by 12 brings us to about, what is that? $5,800 and kind of MRR times 12 means you're doing about 70 grand per month in United States dollars. Is that somewhere around correct?
Let me just check.
Yeah. and it's tricky for you because most of this you're pulling forward, right?
We're about, we're close to about 500,000 pounds annual recurring revenue.
Yep. Okay, good. Yeah. So right around that's about right. So 500,000 ish pounds comes out the conversion. Yeah. Right around. Okay, good. So between 550 and 700,000 United States dollars, depending on the day, right?
Right, exactly. Depending on what's happening with Brexit,
and Trump, and everything else. Okay, good. And then talk to us about some of the other kind of critical things for SaaS. So you've got, these are obviously pretty high contract values. You're selling directly into enterprises. What's your team makeup? How big is it, and how many of them are inside salespeople?
So we are. I think there's 12 of us now, and then we've got an advisor group, which takes us to about 20 depending. So we're 12 people. So we kind of punch above our weight. And inside salespeople, we don't have any salespeople besides myself. So we are all in sales. And that's really kind of a key component to what we do. So we essentially, my co-founder and I, we do sales. Our head of product development does sales. So that's kind of the current model. We are thinking about developing a sales organization.
How do you balance that out? Do you guys each spend 1 day per week doing sales calls? How do you kind of portion out what time, batch that?
It is just, we don't batch it. We just work, really hard. So I think it's
like if a new lead comes in today, who sets up the sales call?
I will typically, we'll split it out a little bit, but I'm kind of running sales at this point. We did have a couple salespeople last year, but we decided that actually we're going to focus on making sure that we've got a process that we can bring salespeople into. So that's kind of where we are. We do plan to have a sales team. But yeah, so if a lead comes in that's been qualified and let's say, I don't know, yesterday we met with London Business School. If that comes in, it's London Business School, then I'm kind of all over that, and then we'll get a meeting set up and really understand it from there. So I would say probably 80% of what I'm doing right now is sales.
And where are you guys based?
We're based in London.
London, all 12.
No, we've got one guy in Spain, Barcelona.
Okay.
And then we do have affiliates in the US and Australia.
Okay, got it. And then if we go back to some of the unit economics, so churn is obviously critical with these kinds of businesses. Since 2014, have you lost any customers?
No, we've got 100% renewal rates.
That's great. And do you have any things?
Actually, we have net negative churn, so our clients grow with us.
I was just going to ask that.
Which is cool.
So how do you move someone from a $70,000 per year or $210,000 3-year kind of contract up to a $500,000 contract? Like what levers do you pull to drive ARPU up?
Yeah, good question. So we obviously great service, great product. We do provide a lot of service, particularly to those 12 customers, and a lot of it has to do with the fact that we focus on these niche networks, and they have potentially many of these networks. So I'll use Springer Nature, for example, which is a big publisher, second largest STM publisher. We started out with 3 knowledge networks with them, and then we've scaled to close to 15, and they have the potential to do dozens of these. So that's as long as we're demonstrating the value on engagement and getting them an ROI, then we can scale up.
And what's it cost you to acquire a new customer?
Good question. So the cost of acquisition is something we're kind of working on in terms of tracking that a little bit more. But let's say for a £35,000 per year deal, which is usually going to be a 3-year deal, it will cost us probably the first year to start. We're dropping that down a bit. But after the first year, we start to make our payback as we go. That's why the upsell is so important as well.
100%. And then take us back. So you said you gave me that 500,000 kind of pound number. Was that 2016 total revenue was right around there? Or that's what you're doing now?
Annual recurring revenue. Yeah, that's end of 2016.
Okay, got it. So that you took December 2016 monthly revenue and multiplied by 12 or 500,000 pounds when you add up all the money you made and you brought in.
It's all annual contracts. So we have an annual recurring revenue model, not a monthly recurring revenue.
Yep. Okay, good. That makes sense. And then what about funding history? So have you bootstrapped this or have you raised?
It's a mix. We bootstrapped. And we've raised angel money, but we haven't raised any VC capital.
So how much total have you raised to date?
We've raised about £650,000.
And did you, and I guess that was a convertible note, right? Or was it a priced equity round?
Priced equity with angels, so all individual angels, yeah.
And I mean, when people are thinking about doing these kind of angel rounds around that size, I mean, how many individual angels did you have in that, and what did you set as like the minimum investment? How do you think about all that?
So we did 3 rounds. One was a small amount with 2 angels, and then we did a second one, and then a third. So the way we went about the third one, which was I think it was about £455,000, and that was done through individuals, and we did have a minimum, but there was a couple angels that we just really liked their background, so we have somebody from Boston Consulting Group, for example, who's a partner. So we kind of adjusted the minimum here and there and tailored it a little bit. But yeah, we focused on a minimum. I think it was 25,000 pounds.
Got it. Very cool. All right, let's wrap up, Charles, with the last 5 questions. All right, number 1, what is your favorite business book?
I'm going to have to say Lean Startup as the Bible for that reason.
Number 2, is there a CEO you're following or studying right now?
Elon. I like Elon right now. I think he's pretty cool.
Number 3, is there a favorite online tool you have, like Acuity Scheduling?
I like Product Hunt, which is not necessarily just a tool to content play, but yeah, Product Hunt right now.
Number 3, yes or no, do you get 8 hours of sleep? Number 4, do you get 8 hours of sleep every night?
I try to.
Okay, do you though, you think?
Yeah, I target 8 hours, definitely.
Okay, and what's your situation? Married, single, you have kids?
Single, I'm sorry, married, well, semi-single, married, separated with one 4-year-old.
Okay, so one little kid, one kiddo, divorced, and I ask these questions because people are always curious, like, hey, you know, I'm divorced too. Can I start a startup? And of course you can. So you're inspiration. So, and then how old are you today?
I am today 43.
Okay, so take us back 23 years. What do you wish your 20-year-old self knew? To do everything with courage. Top Tribe, there you have it. Do everything with courage from the founder of Zapnito. Charles with us today. Again, launched in 2013, pivoted in 2014, which is when they started selling their current product, which now services 12 customers. Again, helping them set up white labeled channels, rooms, training, QA, team partner, and more information like they've done with UK Edge, JP Morgan, and many others. Those 12 customers are paying on average 70,000 United States dollars per year on average and 3-year contracts. They did about 500,000 euros in 2016. No churn. In fact, net negative revenue churn, which is great. Spending about 1 year of lifetime value on customer acquisition with their team of 12 people based in London. 650 grand raise. Again, focus on growing these information channels. Charles, thank you for taking us to the top.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks so much.
If you enjoyed Charles today, go back and listen to Raviv yesterday. Raviv runs Caliber Minds, which has raised $1.1 million, helping 12 customers close B2B leads using more intelligence.
Hey, Top Tribe, I love giving away free money. I feel like Oprah giving away cars, and I have something special for you today. How many of you have heard our super sharp guests talk about success they've had with Facebook and Google ads? Well, all of you listening right now, yes, if you're listening, you get $100 in free AdWords. Here's how you get it, okay? Again, thanks for listening. Get the free $100 from Google, right, when you sign up with my website host provider, HostGator. Go sign up now to get your free money. HostGator.com/Nathan. Again, that's HostGator.com/Nathan. Okay, Top Tribe, I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. And don't forget, before you listen to any other episodes, subscribe on iTunes right now for your chance to win $100 every Monday.